All right, joining us this morning, Second Ward Councilman Phil Garcia. How you doing, Phil?
Good. Looks still a little cold out there. I thought winter's over with.
Oh boy, it's cold.
Yeah.
I think the last time you were on,
Yeah.
it was like sub-zero.
Right. Yeah.
Snow.
So it's getting warmer.
At least we got rid of the snow, most
Yeah,
of it anyway.
yeah.
But yeah, I imagine, and I haven't checked with John Williams, but I imagine that the city coffers got hit pretty hard. Trying to keep up with all that snow removal and salt and everything else.
Yeah, and then the water main breaks.
Oh,
the
that was
floater
terrible.
line. Yeah, they had over 70 water things, and I bet we still see some water main breaks in with the thawing out and the pipes
Yep.
and all that. So I'm sure we're going to still see some of that. So.
I noticed also the street department or public works department's out patching, and in my area, in North Conneaut, they've done some patching of the potholes and stuff. That could get even worse because when it warms up is when they strike
Right.
too.
And last night Randy Luce was at the meeting, and he said the last 3 weeks he's had at least one crew out a day,
Yep.
if not two. Decides to stay ahead of the game, and you're never going to get caught up. But at least they're on top of the problem they have in there. And if you do have a pothole, just call Public Works or they'll get on them as soon as possible. They take certain areas at a time. They just can't travel all over the city. So I think he's doing the right thing and taking a certain section that
Right.
North Conneaut, rather than going North Conneaut, East Conneaut. They get a section and they do it. And that's the way to do it.
It looks to me that Randy's doing a really good job out there. He seems to be pretty organized and
Right.
had all the answers for you guys last night. They asked questions
Right.
and stuff, so seems to be on top of it.
Yeah, and right now he's out on the southern roads. I happened to be out there the other day, and there's still some spots out there, but they're maintaining them to put some gravel down, and
Right.
and you stay ahead of the game rather than wait until you have the bigger problem, then you have an issue. So, but they seem to be maintaining status quo.
Well, of course, in the news, big time the last few days has been the Amboy Bridge project that will be coming up. They're thinking maybe by next Monday it could start.
Yeah, I started seeing the signs,
Right.
being put up. They haven't, uncovered them yet, but it looks like Monday is going to be the day it's going to go.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. That bridge has needed repair for
Oh,
many
yeah.
years.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that there are some people that are really concerned about the detours and what's going to do to the side streets and that sort of stuff. Do you know, Phil, if they've had any kind of? I have not heard of any public meeting. They were supposed to have one.
Yeah, they were supposed to have one, and I just reading in the paper today they have hand out some flyers and things. But when I talked to John Patterson, they said they were supposed to have some public hearings. That kind of concerns me a little bit, and I want to know the signage they're going to have around town. To direct people,
Right.
Especially at Route 7 and 20, are they going to have those message boards and tell them, the road is open till the University Hospital, the ACMC Clinic, the Conneaut Plaza, the Mini Mart out on Amboy Road, to tell people it's open till Amboy Road, because when you read those signs, you go, oh, geez, how, what's it? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit confusing. Like, for instance, and I brought this up before, my wife goes to Ashtabula every morning, and she goes, so starting next Monday, then I should go down Lake Road instead of going on 20. She usually goes on 20, up by your place.
Right.
I says, I assume that you would just go on Lake Road. That should take you right into where you got to go, if the weather's okay.
Yeah.
And so I guess you'll have to do that. But I thought maybe they would have, like you mentioned, a public hearing or something, like they said they were going to do,
Right.
and they didn't.
Yeah.
But it probably will affect some of the side streets, because
Right.
I think Lake Road's one route, and I think Creek Road is the other one.
I would think so. Yeah, then that's going to be, that's where you're going to really run into some issues, because it's a narrow road. Because people who go on Asheville, when they get the Amboy light, they make a left or right. Well, you go North Amboy, which isn't in real good shape. But once you get to Gore Road,
Right.
is okay. But then when you get to North Kingsville, Gore Road, it's really rough.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to Poor Road. And then if you go...
Would Poor Road be way past that then, so we'd be okay?
Yeah, Poor Road would be okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And see, so if you go the other way, if you go south on Amboy Road, that road's in pretty good shape, but you got the houses and that, and then you got the stop sign, then it's kind of windy, and then you get into North Kingsville, and then you have to make a right onto Reed Road, which is another, smaller street. So I would definitely watch your speed limit. Because I'm sure
police are going to be out.
Maybe to start with, and you should go speed limit all the time anyway. But those roads are only 25 miles an hour, or 35 on Creek Road, I think. But then Reed Road's 25 again. I'm pretty sure.
Most streets are 25.
Right. Yeah. And then the people who live on these streets can be inconvenienced a little bit too, because they're not used to having all this traffic up and down.
I forgot about that.
And then if they have kids in the neighborhood and stuff like that, are used to running across the street without really. So I think it's cautions for everybody, and it's gonna be unusual, because the last time that bridge was closed, they used the road by it, but they took that crossing out. Remember back in '85, I think, when they redid the bridge, the deck, and the local detour, you could just go right around the bridge, it wasn't any issue. But that was a big time safety issue, because there was no gates on that crossing.
Right.
And then they gave the right of way away, so they couldn't bring that back, which is probably good too. So it's going to be an interesting 9 months.
Yeah, it's going to be an adventure.
But I think once we get going with it, it'll be fine. The low inconvenience right now, but the bridge definitely has to be done. And the thing I worry about is the signage that they do put up to make sure that people know that the local businesses are open. Not only in Conneaut, but in North Kingsville with Greg Sweet Chevrolet, and the little motel down there, and all the small businesses that are on Route 20 around that way. So to make sure that they're taken care of.
Hopefully it'll work out.
Right. I think it will. And then, like I said, if I see there's not enough signage or something like that, I will make a phone call to John Patterson or go out myself and get that taken care of.
Phil, they mentioned at council last night that the bunkhouse goes under inspection today.
Yes.
Obviously, that's probably for the second building. They are concerned about being held up by the bunkhouse structure. Is that ever? Do you think this is going to happen, or?
I think it's going to happen, but it may take a little bit more time to see what's happening on that. It's just one issue after another, and maybe back in the day when those buildings were built or something like that, or maybe the bunkhouse got so bad that it did hurt the other building too. So I'm not an engineer, but according to John Williams and Nick Church, that they're meeting today. I don't know what time, but maybe it's 9 o'clock or whatever with the engineer. I think county engineers coming down and some other people. So. It's just one issue after another with that place, and it's just an eyesore, and hopefully we get that out of there and get something else developing there.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yes. I really am. I was behind it the other day. I took some videos back to Starlight, which is right beside it, and man, the back end of it was blowing out. It looked like a bunch of bricks had come out of there, and they're laying on the. Yeah. And then suddenly there's kids playing. I'm thinking this is not good.
Yeah, especially after you've built the Dollar General store, Starlight Video moved in there, and Snap Fitness is moving up on Main Avenue. It brings that corner back alive a little bit, and then you got that issue there. But hopefully it'll all work out. So that's all we can ask.
You got a new city manager coming in to play here in April. Were you part of the process?
Yes.
Yeah. Bo?
Yes.
You're on the air.
Morning, Pat.
Hey, James.
Hey, I got a question for Phil.
Go ahead.
Hey, Phil, have they figured out on an alternate route for employees at Luke Jans yet?
Well, that road still should be open, right? It does.
That little side road is. I don't know. I mean, I know they're closing the bridge off, but are they going to keep that little side road open for the employees there, or what?
As far as I know, the Industrial Drive, to get there, they just have to go around. If they're coming in from Ashtabula, they'd have to take the detour. If they're coming in from Ashtabula, they have to take Reed Road all the way around and see.
Right, I understand that part. I mean, but I live up here in the trailer park, and I come from the other way.
He goes west.
Right, so I'm coming from the west, so I'm wondering, am I going to be able to take that little side road to get to the shop and leave from there, or do I have to go around another way or something?
You probably have to go around the other way if you're coming from Ashtabula.
Because that side road's
No, actually, I'm coming from the other way.
He's coming from the trailer park on the west side here, Mobile. Go over.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can go right, that road will be open, yeah. You go right up to the bridge and you make your left right in Industrial Drive, that still's gonna
And
be
that's
open.
what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I know they're closing the bridge down. I didn't
Yeah.
know if they were making us go
No.
another way around.
No, you'll still be okay, that road will still be there.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
All right, that
Yeah.
was a concern he
Yeah.
expressed.
yeah, no, that should be okay. As far as I know, they, if those ain't different.
All right, back to the city manager, Phil. A young man, he looks like he's got a lot of potential for this area.
Yes, I was quite impressed. All three candidates were good, that we interviewed. And one thing that impressed me about Mr. Hockaday was that he has a vision. He did a lot for Geneva Lake. He's involved in grants and moving things forward. And that's and plus another thing, relatively a local person. His wife is leadership. She's in charge of leadership of Ashtabula.
Okay.
So there's a tie. That he knows the area. I was very impressed that he knew a lot about Conneaut. When we called him for a second interview, he had already gone through some of the contracts that are coming up, so he was familiar with that. He was familiar with the infrastructure and what we're looking at, with the lakefront. He was also impressed with the building a corridor to I-90 and Route 7.
Mm-hmm.
So a very, very impressive person on that, has a vision.
I know he and his wife I believe had built a house in Saybrook. Is
Yes.
he going to be able to stay there?
No, he's going to be moving to Conneaut.
Is he really?
Yes, well, it's part of the charter.
Yeah, I know it is. I didn't know whether you guys would waive that.
No, I think we give him some time. And what he said, he's looking, this is what he likes about Conneaut. He says, I want to either live by the lake or by the creek. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's very, very, very impressed with our assets that we do have. So.
That's what Bob Heron told me years ago. He goes, "Why would I want to move to Conneaut and not live by the lake?" And he did. He had a house on the lake where he enjoyed looking out.
Yeah, he said that's what he had.
Well, good.
And another thing that kind of impressed me that when he accepted the job, he says, "I will not be able to take the job until." Was April 20th.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a project he wants to finish up for Geneva on Lake. They have infrastructure sewer project or something like that.
Really?
He says I did not want to leave them until this project is buttoned up.
Wow.
So that impressed me too. That
plus he probably wanted to give him a
fair notice. Yes. And he had told them that he was looking, and for what he was getting paid in Geneva on Lake was that's a nice community. He did a lot for them. You talk to anybody from Geneva on Lake for what he did for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Because all communities need the infrastructure, you need the sewer and this and that. But he wanted to stay on until that project was.
Give him credit.
Yes.
You're on the air.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Phil.
Hi.
Hey, Phil, could you tell me how old is the new city manager? So you're only allowed to tell me his age?
Geez, I really don't know. Is it 34, 35? I think.
He's young. He's young, Michelle.
Okay.
I see. They can't really. I don't know if you can even ask their age.
Yeah, no, there's I don't
I'm
think.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
I was just curious. He looked like he was saying.
Yeah, I think that picture was a little bit younger than what he is, showed in the paper. But I think he's mid-30s, if that.
Oh, that's fine. I'm really happy he's moving to town because that means a lot to me.
Yeah, no, it does.
I think the manager should live in town.
Yeah, no, that's part of the charter. They have to have so much time to move into town. And we looked at all applications, whether they had more experience or less experience. So you got to balance what you have. And we just felt that when he came in for the interview, what he brought to the table was a very energetic, knew the city, in grant writing procedures and things like that, and what he's done on Geneva on the Lake and.
Well, I think you guys do a great job. I mean, I feel good about the guy. He looks like a nice guy.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it sounds like his qualifications are what we want, and young energy is good.
Right, and that's what we thought because and you take a different perspective where the gentleman or lady would have a lot of experience. Are they ready to retire? Is this a stepping stone? Nothing's set in stone when it's happening. But what I was impressed with that his wife is in charge of leadership of Ashtabula, so they do have ties to Ashtabula County. He's been up in Ashtabula County, and he knows Ashtabula County, and I think that was a plus for him too.
Well, good job, Phil.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Michelle.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I think he's the first
Yes.
city manager from Ashtabula County.
Yeah,
We all were
right.
from other states and
Right,
stuff.
right. So that's
So, good deal.
nothing against anybody else, but
Right.
I felt that was a plus.
Right. Had a good meeting last night, a city council meeting, regular city council meeting, and I mentioned this earlier, and I really thought it was nice that Roy Pratt was saluted as the senior citizen.
Well,
of the
he
month.
does
Great.
He does a lot, and he's still at it. You know,
He's still at it,
and,
yeah.
Does a lot. You know, for the Boy Scouts and you know all that stuff, and it's tremendous. You know, it's a nice award. We honor all the senior citizens. You know what they've done for the city and stuff like that.
You know, he was very active with water rescue. He has given that up
Right.
since because he's got a really bad back. But he had to give that up. But I remember seeing him in a wetsuit, and he looked like he was still in high school. He was in such good shape. He would go out there and battle the waves and all that stuff, rescue people off the lake, and he's done a tremendous job for the community over the years. One of the first things you mentioned this morning, Phil, when you came in, was the lighting out there on Route 7.
Yeah, very
Wow.
well. That sure makes a difference. You know, that's where it shows that. You know, when you used to come on Route 7, that place was so dark and desolate. You know, and that doesn't bode well for the town. It's not our fault. You know, ODOT should have done some of that work for us, but you know, John Arcaro did a nice job of diagramming the lights so that it's a nice lit up area out there now.
Mm-hmm.
Not only helps Love's and McDonald's up, but also helps the community coming out that way too. You know,
There was a lot of accidents.
Yeah, right, and then it also helps beef and beer out that way too,
Sure.
because it lights all the way out that way, and it's. And I was talking to John Williams, and there may be a little bit more money, so we can put a few more lights on the other side.
Did we have to pay for that?
Yes.
The city did.
The city has to pay for that. You know, the ODOT doesn't want to budge on all that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, for
Right.
some reason they kind of ignored this.
you get off that exit and it's like wow, but you go up to Chardon and it lit up like a Christmas tree.
Mhm.
You know, you go to Madison's, that's all lit up, and it just bothers me. And it's a gateway to Ohio, and you're in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps out not only Loves and those people and the truckers, but also our citizens that travel Route 7.
Right.
And then also we put a street light at the corner of Middle Road and Underridge. That was a very dark intersection.
Oh yeah.
And then we put a light at Middle Road and South Ridge, top of the hill there.
Okay.
Which is lit up those areas very well because of the intersection. And
It makes a difference.
yes. And I'm hoping, I was talking to John yesterday or Sunday, and John, and I have to say that John's done a tremendous job as acting city manager. If you see John on the street, just tell him thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's just he's a lot of pressure with not only the finance and with the water freezing water mains, and that was a tough situation we had here, but he's just done a tremendous job of doing that. So if you see John, tell him thank you, and he's just for taking over for this time being, and that's another good asset. That when the new city manager, he's got John Williams right there.
He's pinch hit quite a few times.
Yeah, right, pinch hitter. So, and another thing, I was talking to John, and he's out. When I talked to him, I said, let's get 2 more lights out that area. I'd like to go to Kephas and Underridge, and then Kephas and Daniels.
Okay, okay, I know where you're
Yeah, so I'd like to get 2 more out there. He says there's still some money in that thing, and maybe finish up on the Route 7 a little bit and get 2 more out on the southern roads.
Okay, does he have it in the budget?
Yeah, you told me there was an account that there is, in that, we have the money, and how, he can explain to me where the money is, but it's not out of the general fund, but it's in an account that we have.
He has a kind of a rainy day fund that he keeps us going,
Yeah.
so. Hi, you're on the air.
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
Hey, I got a question to ask you.
All right.
Why don't you try to get John and yourself come back on this program again? Try getting him on there.
He's a little camera shy, Ken.
Yeah, I don't think John is a business person. I don't think he's not a come on TV. But it's really most of John's interaction is a finance director, so I don't think that he would have that. But I don't think he's ever been asked, and I don't think he's just.
I think he's been on once, Ken. He's
Yeah.
been on one time,
Yeah.
and that they had to twist his arm to do that.
But he's just very behind the scenes person, does his job and doesn't want the fanfare or whatever you call it. But you know, he's just a tremendous person, and he's just a great guy to. And when you have an issue or a problem, and he takes care of it.
Yeah, well, just try to get him on there,
Okay.
or just twist his arm.
Okay.
He might come on.
Okay. All right.
All right, take
All right.
care. Bye-bye.
You know, you talk about lighting and what a difference it makes. We added some lights. Well, some of the lights out here were out during the winter, and we had them. Dave DeFilippo fixed them. Man, I'll tell you, it's like a runway out here when you come in the morning. It makes you feel better too.
Yes, and like I said that, you know, one of my goals was, you know, at least get some of the intersections covered out there, because, you know, the people come up to that intersection. And I know when you traveled under Ridge and Middle, boy, that was just a dark, and then you're coming down Middle there, so now it's light up. And then when you go South Ridge in Middle there,
Right.
You know, and that, you know, when I went out to look at it, you know, that lights up on top of the hill like that, and you can, you know, lights up the whole intersection there too. So and that people were very happy. And then I said, let's go on the other side, and you know, and John says we have a little bit more money in this fund that we could, you know, see what the cost is. And I said, well, and he walked, you know, I told him, and he went out there too. And that's one thing about John, he'll go out and look at it too. And I said, well, keep us in Southbridge, because Southbridge seems like one of the more roads that's been traveled. Not that I'm going to neglect the other roads out there, but you know, if we get some more money, then, you know, see what we have, maybe each year put one light out there, and you know, before you have to cut, at least the intersections are covered out there.
You know, you mentioned that he's done a good job, and he has. There was an issue about a week or so ago that I had to get a hold of him on, to have him check it out. And I go, look, I know you're busy, really busy, and that was when I think he was doing the negotiations with the new city manager. He still did it for me. It wasn't a major thing, but he did. He took the time to do it. So
Right. Yeah.
he responds.
Yeah. You know, another thing, you know, we were talking last night about buying a new fire truck.
Yeah.
You know, Chief Lee did a tremendous job in researching, you know, the companies and their, you know, who, you know, their records and things like that. And it's replaced with a 1995 truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when they bought this one, they had rear axle drive, and it really had a lot of problems with this fire engine. And he checked all the companies, and he was at the work session and explained, you know, this, and this about the company. It's relatively close. It's in Pennsylvania. They have a good track record. He went up to Erie, Pennsylvania, who bought a lot of these trucks. You know, asked them how the performance is and stuff like that. So, you know, and that's one thing I say about the department heads. They're doing their due diligence and what they're buying, what they're trying to save. I know Randy Luce is, you know, sending emails out. We're buying this, and this. We're trying to save money here. So, you know, not trying to cut corners, but
Right.
looking for the best possible price that we have. And that's
Did I get this straight, Phil? The truck that you're getting
yes.
is a 95?
No.
You're
old
getting
one.
rid of
We're getting rid of 95, and we're getting a, well, I don't know, but it's probably
It said new.
yeah, new. It's probably 2015 truck or 2000.
Yeah.
But once we sign the papers, it's a year.
Because I was sitting there last night and going, we're buying a 1995 truck. I'm just misunderstood.
Yeah, Debbie. You know, so people understand it. You know, we're just, you know, doing that. And see, when they bought all these new fire trucks, they all, you know, they bought them all at the same time.
I know.
You know,
I remember
so,
when they did it.
Yeah, so and that's not a good practice to do.
Mhm.
It's just like down the street department or other departments. You know, buy a piece of equipment because you don't have to replace it all at the same time.
Right.
I think
Stagger it.
Stagger it, and so, and then another thing they talked about the grant for the fire department on the lifts for the
Yep.
and that should help out a lot too. You know, it's when they get those grants, and you know.
I couldn't believe the injuries he said that.
Yeah, oh yeah, you start lifting that stuff or lifting, you know,
Yeah.
you know, I don't care who you are and how big you strong you are.
Yeah, he was talking hernias
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pulled shoulders
Yeah,
and
so-
everything else. So yeah, that's a good thing. Is that ringing?
Yeah, ring, yeah.
Okay. Hi, you're on the air.
Morning.
Hello.
Yeah, I'd like to find out about getting more information from City Hall. I mean, you got people guessing or whatever. Pat there, he does a police report. Can we get somebody from City Hall, like a clerk or whatever, to give the city business for the week and whatever? It's like, it'll stop the rumors and whatever.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we have Phil come in and Debbie come in to try to shed light on different things that are going on. And this isn't a coincidence that he is here the day after a council meeting because they covered a lot of stuff last night. So we're trying to do it that way. I don't think we'll get a clerk on here. I don't think they
No.
will.
No, I'm not saying that way. I say, you know, through the email or whatever, same way you get the police reports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he can come in once a month, and how much can you cover in an hour for a whole month's worth of business?
Yeah.
Right. Well, most of the, all the meetings are televised, the council meetings, that we, all legislation that we do have work sessions that, it's been reported in the paper what we have. I don't think that, most of the stuff that we are is public record, and I know the newspapers there to cover it, the council meetings, and you watch them, that all legislation is not that we're doing anything different or passing ordinances. And right now we got that the timber ordinance in. We go 3 readings on that. Anything else that's coming up? Doug Hedrick is working on the bed and breakfast ordinance, so we can get that, and anything else that's going on.
See, I don't even know what that tree ordinance is.
That's not a tree ordinance, a timber ordinance. If you're going to cut trees down, there's going to be performance bond and stuff like that. And you should be able to go online on websites, and should be up there. And then, like I said, that if you have any questions, call City Hall on that.
Are you talking trees on your own property?
No, it's a timber ordinance. If they go out and cut down a bunch of timber and they go on the side roads,
Okay.
we had some issues out on the southern roads, and they're doing some timbering and stuff like that. And
So they'll need a permit?
Yeah, permit, yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I just feel that communication could be a little bit better.
Okay, well, it's
Actually, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I've never, whenever I call on something or hear something, they've responded very well.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, but not everybody has the opportunity to get your report even.
Yeah, well, yeah,
And the paper's not that dependable.
right, but that's true. But like I said, all our meetings are open to the public. I know sometimes you can't make it, and then that's why we do televise the council meetings. That all the agendas that we have and all the ordinances are read. Any questions we have last night, I was very informed with Randy Luce about the street cuts. Some issues on that, especially on Lake Road.
Lake Road's bad.
Yeah, we gotta, button that up a little bit tighter. I think we kind of let that go a little bit.
All right.
Alrighty, thank you.
Good comment. Yeah, that Lake Road situation.
Yeah. Yeah,
You kind of got to go around that
yeah,
one.
Yeah, it's
Debbie brought that up.
yeah, right.
Last
and
night.
I think it's, we got to do a little bit better job and make sure that they're done right. And I think they were talking about an ordinance that on the roads like that, they can't use certain material in them.
Mm-hmm.
Because like John said, you put this and this in it, and then the water hits it or the car hits it, it just it blows up.
Yeah.
Or you got to use a packing, like a coal patch. Because when you just can't pave it right away because you gotta let it settle a little bit. But the stuff you put in there to settle in, make sure that stays in there.
I noticed in the one cut, it was fine,
Yeah.
and then it just went away again.
Yeah.
Like you said, it
Yeah.
just vanished.
Yeah.
So it didn't stick.
Yeah. So I think that we got to make sure what they're filling those with, and like I said, you can understand if they just put grindings in there and stuff like that. That stuff's just going to come right out after all the traveling like that.
Was it you, Phil, that was mentioning too that contractors, or somebody said last night, I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Debbie. I think it was Debbie.
That the contractors need to
You're right.
be responsible.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You're on the air.
Good morning. I'd like to ask him, what is going on with the recycling ban?
Now that's through the county, and it doesn't look like that's coming back. Every time Debbie goes to report, and there's always another reasoning why there's not happening. It's not our
Been like
doing
2
it.
years.
Yeah, 2 years. I think the EPA or whoever's in charge of the recycling business is trying to get everybody to go recycle on the side. So I think that's and I would say that may be about done. I think they're trying to force people into the. Another good thing, John Williams last night talked about the compost site being back open, and that should, for. I'm not take garbage over there, but your leaves and stuff like that, and that should, and he put the hours, and like I said, when we first put those hours in, you know, it'll always be tweaked, and there was a lot of concern that the hours weren't consistent. You know, they're open
Right.
here. What day are we open, or what times? So it's going to be open 24 hours during the week. I think it was Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. I think it was.
Right.
Yeah, 9 to 5, and 8 to 4.
Correct.
Yeah, so that makes it consistent, so people know when it's open, and there's no concerns to be open. I think April 6th starting, and closing November 16th, 25th. Okay, and so that's a good plus that we can use that, and then for the people who live in the city of Conneaut and people who don't live in the city will be charged, which is, you know, I think is fair, and it's not a big amount that they're being charged either. So that's.
Phil, I got word the other day that April 20, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, April 28th, you have to use a container for your garbage. Do you know anything about that?
That was probably true because that ordinance was enacted.
They gave us a year.
Year to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that will be brought up on council again. Yeah, that they don't want the your bags on the side. They want a
Right.
container.
So you might want to watch, and we'll give you updates on that.
Yeah.
As soon as we get that confirmed, but that is a date that I have gotten so far from one of our constituents out there. So
Yeah, they give you enough time on that.
Yeah.
And I think there was some other things that are going into effect with the trash haulers too with that. So.
it was amazing because when I mentioned that to my wife, she said the trouble. She goes the last month or so. She goes, I couldn't use a container because I couldn't get it out to the road because of the ice and snow.
Right.
So she goes, I just had a couple bags and sat them out there. And I go, I don't know if they're going to... Hey, one of the callers I got the other day was, who's going to police this?
I don't think, you know, we're going to be sending the police department over and do that. If it becomes a problem with somebody or something like that, yeah, we may, you know, do that. I think maybe the health department or somebody will give you a warning or something like that to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's pros and cons to do that. You know, now you're gonna have trash containers blown over the yard, or, you know. So, you know, but then the other point, you got trash, and the animals get into the trash, and so yeah, I think I just want to clean up the city a little bit on that. So
We'll keep you informed
Yeah.
on that. And so, all right, we're looking at 8:38 as we head towards the 9 o'clock hour. We have ACMC coming in here in about 15-20 minutes. In the meantime, if you do want to talk to Phil, now's the time to call because he can answer the questions that I can't. And there's some other things that I did want to address, Phil, from the meeting last night. Great.
well, I lost that.
I lost everything there. I did not realize it was 90 days that you have to appoint the interim city manager. I thought it was 30, but it's 90 days.
Yes.
So John will be in effect until April 19th, and then Hockaday is supposed to take over the next day.
Right. Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay. There was another question I had on here. The city manager was authorized last night by council to enter into a commodity master agreement with Direct Energy for natural gas usage. Is that for the heating elements
Yes.
at City Hall?
Yes. City Hall.
Or the
all
buildings?
Yes.
Okay,
So.
okay.
And John did a nice job with that, negotiating. You know, saving some money there too.
Good.
You know, wherever you can save money, you got to save it.
That's right. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, good morning.
Hi.
The only thing I have is trash cans. People are working. We're gonna have windy days and then the trash.
Hon, we can't hear you. Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, the only thing I have with the trash cans is when we have windy days, people are gonna be working and not be able to get their bills. So then we're going to be charging garbage cans and bottles. This was not thought out very well because unless your neighbor's gonna do a good neighbor, pull the trash can back for you. It's gonna be in the road on a windy day. Thanks.
I had a hard time
Yeah, I
hearing
think
you.
she's talking about, on a windy day with the trash cans, like I said,
Yeah.
that may become an issue, so,
Yeah.
and somebody's got to, pick them up or something like that. So that's, maybe I don't know what the solution was to that, but I think they, they're like I said, I mean, if you put the trash out in a bag and it gets open, that's going to go blow over the place. So,
Right.
So I think we, work with people on that. I think that's the main thing of what we're going to do on this, and see how the reaction is on the trash cans and stuff like that. There's going to be issues with that, the windy days. Maybe make arrangements with your neighbor to pick up the trash cans after they're done. Or maybe the trash hauler can maybe put them to a spot where they're not going to blow around by the street or something like that. So,
And I'm sure it's happened to all of us.
yes, yeah, and I'm sure it happens in other community. But like you said, you put a trash bag out and the animal gets it, so now you got trash all over the neighborhood, and so there's going to be some issues. It's just like anything else. You have to see how it goes. You take for example the compost site. We put the hours, it didn't work out, so we changed the hours. So let's see, see what issues we're going to have, if we have to tweak the ordinance a little bit or keep it the same, and and work at it. So.
Phil, has there been a game plan as far as the paving project that will be taking place this summer? I mean, do you have certain streets that have already been earmarked?
Randy's still working on that with CT Consultants. They've got a list, and I think Randy's still working on that. But they're and they also have to look at the infrastructure on the street. Or we're going to have to replace the sewer lines or the water lines. So you want to make sure that is done. And you also have to tie with some of the grants you may get with replacing some of the stuff. But as far as I know, there is a tentative list, and I'm sure by April that should be coming out and going over the list. And I've talked what I had a couple of my streets in my ward that I'd like to see paved, but I'm sure we all have our wish lists and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean. Yeah, and like last year, this company came in. Boy, they did that in 3 days, and boom, it was done.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice. Like I said, it was nice when we could do it in house, but when you only have 9 workers down there, it's kind of tough when you've got all the other things to do. We can do some slight things. They were talking about the bridge on Furnace Road that had a bump out there, and Randy said they're maybe doing some of that work, and we may have to come in and help them pave that, and they'll cover the cost on the bump out there on Furnace Road.
Right.
The county takes care of that. Doug has been on top of that, and
You mentioned that last night.
right, last night, and John has sent us an email on that. But I think we just wanted to inform the public, and that's another thing that we try to do, and send some emails out and stuff like that. And we try to bring up the council meeting that we're not forgetting about this project, and there's still bump signs out there, but they can't. It's on the list of the county to come out and grind the roads down. There's nothing wrong with the bridge. It's just, it's been a bad winter, and and I know there's complaints on West Main Road there by the plaza. It's like
The washboard.
the washboard. I mean, that's really tough, and we're going to address that once the weather breaks. But they
Is
did.
the city going to have to do that?
Yeah, the city's going to have to do that. The state.
It's not coming till 2020 or
or not 2019 or something like that.
Yeah.
But we're put. We'll remind them of what we did for that, and it's just one of those unfortunate situations. I've been to some other cities, and it's just as bad, or if not worse.
I'm hearing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Here in Cleveland's very
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So we're I think pretty fortunate that Randy's been keeping on top of the potholes. And I'm not saying there isn't any potholes out there. If there are,
Right.
make sure you call, because we can't be every place. And like I said, Randy's doing a good job, and the Public Works is doing. He's sending a truck out to a certain area. He's not going from the west end to the east end, because we got to call. There's a pothole on East Main Road. And there's a
Right.
pothole on. Well, by the time you're just wasting man hours.
Right.
So he's getting to a certain area. Like you said, they were in North Conneaut yesterday. I think they were mentioned about Parrish Road. There was one there. I don't think they got to it, because I went last night, and it's coming up that way. The hole was still there, but I'm sure it's taken care of today. But you can only do so many potholes, and
Right.
if you're down Lakeview Avenue or one of those side streets, you're going to carry all that, and
Right.
then go on to the next road and next road, and then
I've seen a major improvement. I really have. So
Yeah.
they're out there trying. I thought it might have been too cold to even do it.
no, they got that coal patch, and
Yeah.
he's also trying to buy some coal patch from another company, which is a little bit cheaper
Oh.
and just as good, if not better, than what we've been buying. So he's been doing that.
Good.
Like I said, he's been out at least 1 truck a day, if not 2 trucks a day, and then they've been out on the southern roads. I was on Keefus Road the other day, and it was pretty good shape. I was on Under Ridge and part of South Ridge, and he said they were out on South Ridge the other day. That,
What are they doing to keep them? Are they
use a maintainer, scraping them, and then putting some gravel down on it.
Okay.
And he's using a little small gravel. Somebody said it's not good. So, but if they put the big rocks on it, it hurts your tires. So he's going to try this method and go from there. So,
Phil, are you going to still continue on as councilman? Are you going to run again?
Yeah, as far as I know, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, you're on the air.
This is Mary McClimate on Park Place Road.
Okay.
I am calling about last fall when they done the gas lines. In my yard there is a big hole at the end of the yard, and they were supposed to go out and landscape it, and no one's ever done nothing. And it's just a big soupy hole. Will that be taken care of?
Okay. What's on Park?
Park Place?
231 Park Place.
All right. I will call Randy Luce.
He's got it written down here. He will check on it right after the show.
I would really appreciate it.
Okay, Mary.
Now, what was it? A gas line?
Thank you.
Okay, that may be. Well, we'll find out.
Supposedly they were supposed to landscape.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll talk to Randy. Maybe that's.
And we have to no. You have to say this, disclaim this. Randy's new at the job, so he probably doesn't know a lot of the stuff that happened a year ago.
And maybe if it was a gas line, the gas company coming in. I'm not putting the blame game, but maybe you know if I tell Randy, he can then look at it, say, okay, the gas company did this, or electric company, or if it was water company, if it was our company, then we take care of it. If not, then he can call the gas company and have them come and do it.
Okay. Fair enough. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Pat.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, that lady that just called about the gas thing, that pipes that they just put in last year.
Uh-huh.
She, there's a number she can call. It's 440-466-6611. That's who I called to complain about the gas thing, so maybe she can call and give them.
Mary, did you get response on that?
Yeah.
Did you?
They came down and fixed ours, and a lady down the street, they're gonna fix her sidewalk that they cracked. They're gonna fix that this year too.
Okay.
So I give her the phone number, so maybe this lady can call and talk to them.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay,
All right,
Thanks,
well,
Mary.
thanks, yeah.
bye-bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
yeah, because sometimes when these contractors come in, and like I said, they maybe didn't have time to fix it because of the weather and things.
Sure.
Or they may have done it and then it sunk again. That happens, you know. They patch it up, it looks good, and then you go through the winter or something like that, and that's why I say that we'll look at it.
Okay. Very good.
That's it's like with those things, the other things. Another call.
Another one? Busy this morning. Hi, you're on the air.
Yes, Phil, when you have these contracts coming in to pave,
Yes.
do you get any kind of guarantee on how long the pavement will last?
I don't. I think there's a performance bond on that. If it's, if it breaks up right away, I think we'd come back on it. But a couple of years, or if it's because of the, maybe you talk about the state route sometimes that does. I'm sure you look at their quality of work. Yeah, I don't know if there's any type of work guarantee that has on that I know written into the contract, but I'm sure that
It's similar. It's similar to the time of the state.
Yeah.
When they did the Route 20 the last time, it was supposed to last 20 years or so, 10 or 20 years. It didn't.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do about it.
Sometimes.
Let's talk about the streets in town that was paved last year. Did that company give you a guarantee on the streets?
Not to my knowledge. That I would assume that if they're breaking up within a year, then we have an issue, and then you kind of wonder what product they're using, and you come back and check on them. But as far as I know, that they've done a pretty good job. I haven't heard any complaints on it yet. And I know they did the city of Ashtabula. They did all their streets, and I would hope that the work is guaranteed. I don't think there's any guarantee anything when you put that pavement down. And there's issues that happen, but I'm sure there's that if it's breaking up within 6 months or not holding up, and there's no reason for that, then I think we can come back on it, but I would have to check on that.
All right, I was just wondering.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I mean, just like us, we had asphalt put down on our driveway in this fall, had a bad winter, and it rose up, but
Yeah.
it didn't break it up, but
Right.
it rose up because that's part of the,
Yeah, it's probably not the asphalt, it's just the ground that does
yeah,
that.
it's the ground.
Yeah.
Same with my cement in my garage, it all cracked.
Yeah, so it's sometimes, it's some issues that happen, but, we look at that, and, if it's not a reason to do that, then you're gonna look at it.
And I haven't heard any complaints
No,
about that.
yeah.
Hi, you're on the air.
This is Mary McClellan. I called about the hole in the yard. I didn't get that number the lady called in.
It's 440
Yeah.
466 6611.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thanks,
call them
Mary.
and hopefully they take care of it. If not, give us a call back. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
All right. See, that's one thing. Like I said, who's making the issue? Like I said, they probably fixed. When they did it, it was fixed.
You're on the air.
This is Sharpie.
Hey,
Went
Sharpie.
on a vacation, come back, and Sandusky Street was paved brand new. Then the gas company come and dug a hole, and the city come and dug 3 holes. So they dug 4 holes in my front yard. What a mess it was.
Mm-hmm.
On a brand new paved road that we just had put in.
Mm.
Well, that was a mess.
Yeah,
Why
they
didn't
try
we
not
do
to
it
do.
before?
Well, they try not to do that after the fact.
Right, and that's why we look at the streets we're going to pave, and then it could have been a gas line problem. It could have been a frozen water line or broken water line. The things you don't anticipate, and we don't want to do that. And that's why CT consultant goes through it and Randy goes through it, and then what else does this street need? So sometimes a street may not get paved because we got to wait for the issues to get resolved, and we try. It's the worst thing that when we just pave a street and all of a sudden there's got to be a road cut, and we just shudder on that. But sometimes it can't be helped. We try not to do that, and I know it's a mess.
And then years later,
Yeah.
the construction company come over here because my sewer was plugged.
Right.
Well, it wasn't my sewer. It was the main line across the street that was broke.
Right.
It would have cost me nothing, but it cost me $1,300. So I had a lot of trouble in my front yard.
Right.
In the years.
Right.
Thank you, thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Sharpie.
Yeah. Sometimes you just shudder when you have to pave a road and something happens.
Oh yeah, that's a nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare. You don't want to do it, and that's why we check out to make sure. When they did all the work on was it Lake Erie Street, Lakeview, when they put new water lines in or sewers in
William Street.
They make sure everything was. We didn't have to do anything underground or something like that. They put the water lines in first, and then that was a mess. And then they got fixed. So.
Yeah. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Pat.
Yeah.
This is Pat Sherman on Cleveland Court. You talked about fixing the potholes. Are they ever going to fix the ones on Cleveland Court? Because down by the one fire hydrant that was leaking several times, there is a hole that's getting deeper and deeper, and I think the fire hydrant's still leaking.
Okay, I'll report that to Randy and the water distribution and see what.
Where's that, Pat? On
Cleveland Court.
Cleveland Court.
Cleveland
Okay.
Court. Okay.
Yeah, because I've already busted up one tire on my car up on Route 20.
Okay.
I want to bust up one on Mike Street too.
Okay. All
I
right.
just wondered if they were ever going to fix it.
Okay.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what we got here. I want to make sure if we have any comments on emails. No. Okay, we're all set. Well, Phil, we covered a lot of stuff today,
yes.
and got a lot of good response, a lot of good phone calls. Yeah. And that's what I want them to do. I want the people to be able to talk to you. And,
and I appreciate coming every month, and Debbie comes in and keep people informed what we're doing.
Right.
And like I said, I think we're moving forward. We're getting some things done. There's little small shops open up here and there. Now we're coming into our spring and summer with the tourism. Now I'm going to be on getting that. And then think about the wayward signs. That's a big plus.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, with the what the Port Authority did and the donation we had, and what we did. They were worked, I think, 3 hours on that. Connie Naylor and her husband, and who are also on that committee, would just do a tremendous job. And
Sure.
that's going to be really brighten up the town and to show people what we have. And to bring people in, it brings money into the economy, brings you know.
They'll go up this year, right?
Yes, oh yeah, should be coming up this spring, and like I said, you know, we're working on the I-90 corridor. I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Hockaday, you know, that we brighten up the Route 7 there, and it shows that, you know, we're concerned about the community. We want people to come into our community, build our community, you know, for the jobs, and, you know, Love's have done that, and just from the income tax we're getting from Love's and stuff like that, pays for the lights itself, you know, people
Sure.
are saying that, and, you know, we're trying to, a little bit at a time, you know, trying to do that. Like I said, you know, we put the lights up on the street corners up in the southern part of the city, which is good. We had some issues with the water lines. Like I said, they were frozen. The water department did I think, a tremendous job keeping up with that. I mean, it's just, you thought last one was bad, this was even worse. And,
Yeah.
and they did the best they can. And when you only have 3 or 4 guys down there, and then it's not an easy job being out in that cold weather. And I have to commend them in doing that. And I know was some inconvenience by some people, you know, that the water was off for, you know, maybe a week or maybe more, and you know, we learned some of the stuff we did. Maybe we can do it better next year, but I think for overall part they did a fine job in doing that, and it's all we can do is learn from it, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Get a warmer winter.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, you got to commend the people, you know, the citizens in that, and I'll check on Cleveland Court. Talk to Randy
Yeah,
on that.
Pat Sherman, I think, would be appreciative of that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So you're gonna be at the Business Expo?
Yes. Well, as far as I know, I am moving my location of my business.
You are?
Yes. Dollar General has bought the corner where I'm located, 45.
In Ashtabula.
Yes, we do need, you know, Dollar General will be the 4th Dollar General. They're moving another one out there, and
where are you gonna go?
Well, right now I haven't. I've talked to a person yesterday. It looks pretty good where I'm going to go. I don't.
Would you stay in that area?
Yeah. No, I'm going to be up on Route 20 in Ashtabula.
Are you?
It looks like it. It looked pretty positive when I talked to the landlord yesterday about it, and she had to talk to the partners and stuff.
What's that do to you, though? I mean, that's quite a transition.
Yeah. Well, you got to move everything. But yeah, looking at it, it was about 10 years ago when I had to move where I was now, and it's the same thing that happened. You know, I had to move, and so it's just a pain to move everything.
Wow.
So they cleared a lot out. All the trees are gone behind my business now, and but it had been rumors that they were going to move it in, but there were some issues, and I said, oh, maybe it's not going to happen, and then, you know, it looks like a done deal, but. You know, Dollar General is a big company moving around. You know, I didn't believe they would put 2 in Conneaut, but they must know something we don't. And now there's 4 in Ashtabula, and they're popping up all over the place. I guess it's one of the fastest growing businesses there is. So I don't know, you know, what they look at, or, you know, the demographics and stuff like that, and you go with it. You know, so it is what it is. So.
Also, you're going to be catering the Chamber of Commerce
Business Expo.
The other one, the golf outing.
Yes.
At Village Green.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got a busy schedule.
Yeah, I'm busy. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Phil. Great having you on.
All right.
We'll book something for next month.
Okay.